rather touch the pad. Everybody in the world fused. Morning crew, and welcome back to the new workshop. No, you've not been back before. This is your first time here, other than the still photos that are on the Patron page. Now, sorry about the lighting. We've only got the original lighting in this workshop and I've done nothing else yet. The old lights are still in the old workshop. We're busy moving everything down. Now, nothing is set up. It's just been put in the workshop. Everything's still boxed. It's been put on the racking. The racking's probably going to move around depending on where you guys decide it should go. But I thought a very quick video to show you around this workshop to give you an idea. Now, if you want to know dimensions of stuff, then that's all on the previous video that I did with Tool Girl Lily in the old workshop. We actually did a little plan, filled in the measurements, and in the comments, in the description section of that video, all the measurements of the benches, the lathe, all that kind of stuff. And in that video, I invited you, the people, to provide some feedback as to how you would lay out the workshop based on that equipment. And there's a Google Drive, a link to a Google Drive where you can upload your plans, whatever you want to do, really. We can have a look at it and see who comes up with what. But do bear in mind that this isn't a fully fledged workshop that's working on cars and motorcycles every single day. It has another function, and that is to make videos. There's a lot of filming goes on, so you've got to think about how the camera is going to sit in the workshop and the view that the camera is going to get, and that really does dictate enormously as to where the stuff goes. What I have done is now all the benches are on heavy-duty casters, so the benches can actually be moved around once the workshop is finally made open plan. And the idea of that is to sort of maximise the use of the space that I've got available. It is a bigger workshop than the old one. It's about 20% more floor space. Essentially it's longer, quite a bit longer, and very fractionally narrower. It's about 50 centimetres less wide than the old workshop. Okay, let's go and do a little fly around with the Handycam. Here we go. Well, it's not much of a view, but that's what I get to see when I'm stood at the camera talking to you guys. So this is the back, the rear of the right-hand workshop, and it does have a small window. Yeah, very small, very overgrown. That's probably going to get sorted out at some point, because glare is a real problem on the camera. So, starting over in the far corner, like I said, everything's just sort of stacked up at the moment. We've got the press just chucked in there, the old Tang Tools table, which is out of the other garage at home. And then we've got the square workbench with the blue vise, very famous blue vise now on hundreds and hundreds of videos. And then as we pan round, we've got all the Tang racking with the cupboard and the SMA sticker and the look. Ichiban model, or Ichiban it is, isn't it? That's right. Calvin's corner, in the corner, good job. And there's nothing in any of the drawers yet. It all arrived yesterday after a long drive down. And then we've got the end of the workshop and my KTM just guarding the door. Right, and then you'll see if I come around this side, we've got this partition wall running between the two, essentially what were single garages. And this this garage here was built first. And this is more like a lean-to type garage where the roof is a bit lower. But the problem we've got is this retaining wall, and it's a major problem. It has to go, but it is load-bearing. It's holding up the two roofs between the two workshops. So the plan of attack is to put a big steel RSJ all the way along here, from one end to the other. And if you're an engineer and you can calculate the size of the RSJ that we need to use for that, that will be most helpful. The roof isn't particularly heavy, to be perfectly honest. It's just a bit of corrugated iron and timber, probably about half a ton, I would say, all up. It's probably resting on there, so it's not a lot. And then once that's in place, obviously, we can then take down all the timber framing and cut out this concrete dividing wall. Ultimately, long term, we want to actually get rid of the two single doors and put a single large door all the way across to maximize access. Let's take a look around the other side. So we've got down here the MIG, the welding bench, that one's called, with the pillar drill. Now the green pillar drill, that's that one at the back, the smaller one, that's sort of mobile, that ends up somewhere else. But the large pillar drill is mounted to this bench, and it works very well on there. Blue trolley stuck in the corner at the moment. And then we've got the huge workbench. This one's about 2.5 meters long by 1200, so 1.2 millimeters wide. I think 1.2 meters wide. I think it is anyway, from memory. We've got the other KTM sat down there. Very dark because there's no lights down this part of the workshop yet. And of course we've just snuck the lathe in there for now. So if I go down the end and turn round, so I'm stood right in the corner now, you'll get sort of a pan view of the workshop. It's very cool. I'm looking forward to getting all this sorted out. It was actually a big turning point getting the racking taken off the trailer and put in the workshop yesterday. It's great. So when I'm doing my videos for now, until we sort that roof out, which should be in the next couple of months, obviously I can put the camera like this when I'm working on the bench. It'll be looking, you know, through the timber framing on some shots, which is, yeah, a bit of a compromise, but it's not the end of the world. So there you go. You've got a good idea now of what's going to happen. Right, back to the bench. So my apologies for the very poor camera work. It's quite dark in here, and I think that's what's messing the camera up. I'm very used to the other workshop, lots and lots of lighting. And whilst we're on the subject of lighting, when the fluorescent lighting goes in, or whatever I decide to put in, if I'm going to bring the lighting from the old workshop, then I'm very tempted to get, you can buy different tubes for the fluorescent lights, which you don't get that flickering problem on camera. It's not often I get it, but when I'm editing, I do come across it every now and again, and it's really, really annoying. So I'm going to look into doing that. There'll be a lot more lighting in this workshop once it's all finished as well. Nice and bright, so it should be good for the camera. One other improvement that we'll have in this workshop that we didn't have in the old workshop is Wi-Fi. We'll have a really good internet access specifically just for the workshop, which is going to be they call it Vodafone Rural Broadband, which we had on the house up in Auckland. I'm getting that moved down here, so we'll have, I think it's a 4G connection directly and only for the workshop. So I'll be able to do live streaming, which I haven't been able to do in the past. I'm really looking forward to doing that. This workshop eventually will get certified for warranty fitness. So that's the plan, at least, is I'll be able to do, because I'm a warranty fitness officer or inspector, I can do warranty fitness on cars and motorcycles. I think probably just motorcycles is all I'll be looking at doing to start off with. But that might be on a Saturday morning every week, and I could just leave the live stream running whilst I'm doing a couple of warrants, and that'd be quite interesting, I think. Let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. Okay, well, I've got to jump back in the car and drive all the way back to Auckland now, and load up again and come back here. And I reckon I've got another 2 loads to go. Alright crew, well if you enjoyed this video, and there are many, many others on the channel, why not click on the subscribe button? You'll see a little gear icon turn up, click on the gear icon, and then you can tick the box and turn on notifications. And that way our friends down at YouTube, well, they're going to send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. You'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. Feel free to communicate through any of those portals. However, first point of contact, if you don't mind, via the comments down there on this particular video. Now, there is also a Patreon page. You can click through onto that. There's a link in the description. And there's also a link on the homepage of Andy Mechanic YouTube channel. Go onto there, you'll find history about the channel, how it came to be, up-and-coming projects. Of Moving Workshop is one of them, and it's got a very long-going project. Lots of ideas. If you know, send me a message through if you've got any ideas what we should do. I'm very open to suggestions of how we should set this workshop up. This is my workshop. I own this property, and whatever we do here is done permanent, which is going to be really cool. The house up in Auckland, only rented, and all the other houses in Auckland, in New Zealand that I lived in, all rented. So I was very reluctant to spend any real money doing, you know, things like wiring and permanent lighting and that kind of stuff. So here I can do all that, and there'll be lots of wiring going in with sockets put in ring mains, that kind of stuff. It'll be great fun. There's also on Patreon you'll also find the profiles of all the tool girls, Tool Girl Lily, Hannah, Sam, etc. Jade, they're all on there, and you can download various still shots that are lifted from the videos for screensavers and to print out as posters and things like that. I'm going to ask, Tool Girl Lily did actually a photo shoot the other day, and I'm going to get Lily to possibly do some signed photos, and then we can you know, do some kind of an online auction, and you can auction those off and the money can go to charity. We'll see what we can do there. Okay crew, if you do decide to become a patron, and that would unlock various tiers within the Patreon page, then your donation is is very much appreciated, it really is, but please only send through what you can afford. Alright chaps, well it's time for me to hit the road. I'll see you around. Cheers, over and out. And we get the flip again. Oh.